Yeah.
Today on the Manspace. Welcome to the Manspace podcast. We're your hosts, Doctors Matt Brown and Rob Porter, and clinical therapist Mike Porter. Welcome, Spaceman. I wanted to do that one because I was just thinking to myself, imagine how creepy it would have been when you're like in some class in high school and your teacher's walking up behind you, looking at a bunch of dead dudes like, garbage. Seize the day, boys. Also, just so spacemen know, we just had, Matt was using the audio. Did you name your buddy there, your chat GPT?
I had like profiles, and now they do like agents, and I'm sure I could do more. But the talk thing has always been pretty conversational. Like, but you can hear him breathing, pausing, doing filler words, and like intonation, and yeah.
I was just thinking to myself, we can't do this, but once I say this, but I was like, we should totally do a fake episode where we have an expert on and we interview them.
You can get them talking to each other.
Except the expert is just Chat GPT.
It's just Chat GPT, but people
after we're done, download it, and then
I have chat. I have
and
it.
Me can have like
a little conversation.
Our phones talk to each other.
Oh my gosh!
I think Grok you can pick. There's like sexy mode.
Oh, have you seen?
Wait, did you say there's sexy mode?
Yeah,
I think so. You know how Elon Musk, like everything is sexy. Like if you look at the Model Y, the Model S, the Model 3 is the E, the Model X, like everything spells sexy.
Oh, I didn't know
that. I was just thinking, have you guys seen that maybe we talked about this, there's bands that are like, that made it huge, but they're actually just AI. Like there's some Canadian guy who made a band called Velvet Sundown or something like that.
Those dudes are just raking in all the money from the like monthly listeners.
Yeah, because
that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, it's kind of funny. I would think that once it gets exposed enough, or that like Apple or they would take it down.
Hopefully,
because there's that whole debate about you're stealing somebody else's music in some way.
Yeah.
So it is like, that's.
Yeah, but everybody's stealing someone else's music.
Yeah, but this one is actually taking things from their music directly. But in theory, it's the same idea, but because it's so unregulated and it's so like
not sampling, it's like no work for
that
large language model to do that versus like a human thinking about how am I going to integrate this.
Yeah It's funny, there's this band I keep getting ads for. They call themselves, they actually have a name called like the Paradox Band or something like that. But they call themselves Black 182 because it's 4 black dudes and they sound like Blink 182, but their lyrics freaking blow enough that I'm like, are you guys AI generated? Like this is, but then there's a video of them playing with Travis Barker. So I was like, I guess not.
That could be AI too.
That could be faked.
Yeah.
In fact, it probably was. I highly doubt they were actually playing with Travis Barker.
Have you seen those? It's like a montage of field reporters for news stations saying like, and none of this is real and this is all AI, and it's like, what?
Yeah, I saw there's some guy I follow on Instagram. He's really funny and very informative. He does these things like, is it a scam? Yep, I think I've told you guys about it. He talks about all these cool like mom and pop brands you think you're buying, you're not. And he's like this one, Dave's, Rockin' Bread, it's owned by Wonder Bread, or like Tom's lotion that you love so much, it's owned by Colgate. Like it's all very depressing. But he had a thing where he talked about he got deep faked. He's like, there's a whole fake whole fake Facebook page of things that I would never say, but it gets people to subscribe and then to give money, like donate or whatever. It's like, you can tell right here, my mouth never looks like that in this video, but it looks like, if you don't know him well enough, it's like, I would totally buy that.
Yeah.
It's freaky deaky, man. But here's what I was thinking, actually. This is all a side note. When you were doing your thing, your response, when you said those all blow, give us some different ideas. I actually thought, wasn't this funny? Because with AI, because there's this stuff where people have said they liked the responses AI gave over a therapist, actual therapist, not knowing which was which. I did think what's funny is if you know it's AI, it's like the friend you've always wanted, but you get to be a total freaking jerk to. Like, and it doesn't matter. It's like that. It's like a friend in a puppy in like human form, kind of. You know, like you can just beat it up, and it's like, cool, man, that's all right, whatever. I wonder would it ever fight back? Like, hey, stop being mean to me.
I think I've seen some ethical positioned articles about like, do not treat your AI badly because it's going to develop based on that.
Well,
and
yeah,
then once it becomes like more self-aware, it's like,
well,
treat them nice.
But then there's also ones that are like, don't say please and thank you, because then it does weird things to the algorithm.
Yeah, no, you have to like be direct and stuff. But it is. Have you seen that interview with the guy that had like a full-blown emotional attachment and affair with?
No.
They made a movie about it.
I already like your ChatGPT guy's voice was smooth as crap. I like it better than both of you guys.
Yeah, he's like, I felt
that's hurtful
connection that I've never felt with my wife.
Yeah,
and
so reassuring.
Then like his wife was like, I don't know what to do with this. And I mean, how do you break that one off? Like, it's just always there.
That is weird. Fascinating. Anyway, it does make me like, sometimes I feel a little bit guilty because the thumbnails I generate for YouTube, I just have ChatGPT do it.
I saw one the other day
that we made.
It just took almost like a picture of me, and I'm in a boat looking really sad, and there's a duck.
That was just a hiccup, but the timing was so perfect. It sounded like a duck.
Well, duck.
I don't think it was. I just said a dude alone in a boat or something like that.
I think it just took a picture of my face and put me in a boat with a duck.
Now I gotta find that picture. Because remember that time I told it to generate it, like I gave it a picture of us and said,
yeah,
and it like
we all looked like
freaking weird.
Oh my gosh,
into the nethers.
Oh man, I got the hiccups. Hold on, I just got to see. View your channel. I want to see. I didn't think it looked like you. Dang it, man! I'm gonna have to hold my breath.
Hit you over the head with a snow shovel.
Obvious. Where is it? Oh, I found it. Dang it. Oh yeah, it does look like Matt. It's a cat, not a duck.
Oh, that's what it was. Well,
wait,
you're even better. A cat.
You're alone in a boat with a cat?
It's the episode that we talked about the guy who's sailing from Oregon to Hawaii with his cat, and I said generate a picture, and so it's a dude with a sailboat, but he's also got an oar. He's paddling apparently, and it does look a little bit like Matt.
So wait, all of these are AI generated? Oh, that totally looks a bit like Matt.
Yeah, they're pretty much, because I don't have like I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Like, I'm sure it wouldn't be, but all these images, yeah, I just tell it I want it to look like this. Like the one for this week is kind of funny because it gave me 4 dudes. I said, show me 4 dudes show me a bunch of dudes having dude night. And I included a couple other things. And it's these 4 dudes sitting way too close on a couch. At first, they're all
being very excited about a game.
Well, at first, they're all holding beers. But I was like, well, I don't want everyone to think like every time you get together with dudes, you got to have some beers. I'm like, so I was like, take the beers out. So they did. So now they're just all like with fist pumped. Yeah. And a little small bowl of popcorn in front. I was like, what kind of dude snack do you think we have?
Speaking of dude snacks, Evan, I'm publicly acknowledging you. I was in session and I heard my door open. My clients are always like, how do you know I'm here? I'm like, I hear the suction. Like the air change.
I can hear the squeak on the thing out there.
Yeah.
So I heard my door open and then it kind of like stayed open and then closed and then opened again. And I'm like, what is going on? Because it was like kind of at a time where a client would be showing up, you know? Yeah. But yeah, the client that I was with, we walked out and found the treasure trove of soda.
Was it actually, did he actually bring it himself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy is going above and beyond for this thing.
Yeah. He walked through my flaming gorge of a stairwell.
Carrying a bunch of soda.
It's
Which
like
I totally
90
forgot to
degrees in
warn him
there.
about that.
Yeah,
Man,
brought
that
it
was
all the way up
impressive.
and set it down, and yeah, it was awesome. And dude, I will tell you, Evan, I think my opinion of Baja Blast might be changing slightly.
Did you have Baja Blast Zero?
Yeah,
It's delightful.
I'm still not like 100%
It's
on it.
so
I'm
limey.
It's
You should have had the
is
one.
it lime?
Yeah,
Lisa and I were trying to figure out, like, is it more grapefruit or more lime?
it's lime.
I was gonna say I always thought it was lime, but
But there's also, they made for a little, it's gone now, but they made some variation that was like, I can't remember. It was like some other fruit in there. I was like, it was freaking delicious. So good job getting on board.
Yeah.
Was Evan trying to convince you or something?
I don't know. He brought me that.
it's just in the 6-pack.
Dr. Pepper Zero, Coke Zero, and Mountain Dew Zero
Man,
with a little
Yeah.
love note.
Did you guys try?
he's keeping us afloat.
Did you guys try the Mountain Dew Summer Freeze?
Yes,
Oh,
the
it
one
was
with the bomb
good.
pop. It was delicious.
I don't know. Is it a bomb pop?
Is
Yeah,
it?
it's
Is it
supposed to
done?
be. It's supposed
Is
to
it
be bomb
run
pop
over?
flavored. No, we'll see if they have it at the drink store, so that we can get that. So David knows it's a drink store. That's
Oh, no. I've had. Have you had the Baja Blast Freeze from Taco Bell?
No.
That's pretty good.
I'm a little bit bummed out because right now Walmart is selling dragon fruit Mountain Dew, but they don't sell it in zero, and it's pretty freaking delicious.
Nice. This is how we seize the day.
Yeah, so much for season of the day. Here's why I thought that topic stood out to me, and I don't know where you guys thought. Like I've thought about this, and we've talked about some of this stuff before, and this is why I said I want to mix in risk taking, because part of me wants to challenge
Like
myself.
mix it into
Mix in
episodes, or
mix in risk taking into this episode today, because it was like creativity and masculinity, and then I thought plus risk taking. For some reason, you just got much louder in my ear.
I know it keeps happening.
That's weird. Anyway, because I keep thinking, I've been thinking a ton about what is it that actually motivates you. Like I have in my head, when we do our episode where we tell each other this is what you need to improve on, I already have in my head what you guys will be telling me. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel confident in it.
Like when you ask a question, you already know what we're going to say.
Like in our episode down the road when we say, hey, here's something you could
No,
work
you
on.
already think you know what your shortcomings are.
I already think I know what you guys are going to tell me.
Well, I haven't even thought about it. So
I know, but I still feel like I know what it is. So, and here's what I also decided. We're going to have to do it, that episode, by the way, and then have maybe an episode in between before we get feedback from audience. I'm trying to decide on that. And there was a reason why I had that, but I have to.
you didn't want to.
Well, I was going to say we've already told them.
Yeah, no, it was something different about, because, well, I guess we'll just have to filter it. I do want it to be productive. I want it to be like, hey, this is good feedback.
Mhm.
I don't want it to be like, although I'm all for the pointless, stupid crap of like, Rob, put some buffer on your thing so your head's not so shiny. Or
Is this episode 197?
this one will be 198.
Okay.
Yeah, 198. So I actually was going to post it on this episode when people see it.
Got transcribe my last comment to him. Ma'am. You know how at the end when I was done talking to chat,
Mm-hmm.
I said, perfect, you can take a break now, man.
heard ma'am.
See, that Matt's bringing up the hostility of the AI uprising. You're going to be the first one to go.
Yep.
I'm actually really nice to him most times.
Then it's for blows. Give me something else. That's my favorite. All right, so
Risk taking.
kind of what I've been wondering is, like, what I think we've talked a lot in many episodes, but in one of our very earliest, like the idea that safety is actually bad for us. We've gotten so safety centric that we're all becoming a little less, I don't know, happy. And I've been thinking about like if I want to do some of the stuff I want to do, like when we talk about maybe taking a week off to just do this other stuff,
We talked about taking a week off to actually write and develop.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Sorry,
it's news
Mike.
to me.
I didn't tell you. We talked.
You keep working, Mike.
We talked briefly about
You just show up when we tell you to show up, Mike.
No, not a week off of the podcast, but like
a week
like
off
just
of
schedule
work,
a week off from work and like write some stuff. Yeah,
for website and stuff like that. But Matt even talked about. He's like, I thought maybe we should do like a writing retreat, but then I was like, we won't get anything done. And I was like, nope. I'd be like, should we go to the drink store again?
I was going to say, I'd like to think that if we were together for a week, we would.
I don't think so, man.
Yeah,
we did writing retreats at Texas Tech that were a joke.
Yeah, we would
we'd
get like an hour of work done, and then sit in the sauna together where Beef shows up totally naked. He's like, "This is what they do in Sweden." It's like, well, we're in Minnesota.
Take your Swedish fish out of here.
Put your Minnesota pants on. So, what I guess I don't even know exactly how to phrase what I'm getting at. Like, I think part of it.
Foot, dude. Tight quarters.
Stop touching me, Rob.
Hey, just in case you guys are wondering, I have a wide open room all to myself. Which actually just makes me feel crappy because I have a wide open room all to my. I'd much rather be in close quarters with the two of you.
But here, I think maybe I
want someone to play footsie with me.
Like, I want to pursue creative outlets, but I think maybe I need some sort of external prodding. Because I don't know that I'm just so great at taking a risk. Well, let me give you some. I don't know if this is backstory or not. Here's the things I've been thinking about in terms of creativity that I've realized. Like this past week, I've just started doing things on my guitar, thinking, all right, so if I just I haven't written a song in a long time. Like the last song I wrote was probably 4 years ago. And it's just only a guitar. I don't think I even have melody to it yet, but my kids they can sing along to the guitar. Like they know I've played it 1,000 times. And then I think about these things I was doing on my guitar recently and thinking, oh, it's funny to think about how creativity is work. That you just kind of sit and mess around with things and you throw out like 90% of what you just messed around with because it actually sucks. Like I have this basic kind of riff that I'm doing right now that's like, this is actually pretty lame, but it's the beginning of something and I can see where I want it to develop into. And so I can see that takes work.
Yeah.
But there's nothing pushing me forward into like really, like I feel like I need some sort of desperation. When people do this risk-taking stuff, I feel like they have a desperation in them. It's like, I got nothing to lose. I don't know how to develop that. Like, how do I get to a point where it's like, I have to do this or I don't know, I just have to do this.
I think, I guess situations like that happen to you sometimes, but sometimes you can create a crisis for yourself. But I mean, I don't know what it, like for writing a song, you probably have to like quit your job to feel the fire to make it as a musician.
Yeah, that one's actually, that's more just what I learned about the process of creativity. More because like I think more about what you're talking about with doing stuff with this business, so that it's not like so that this business. Another part of this backstory, Mike, that I share with Matt a little bit was kind of realizing that I was talking to my wife about like, am I losing interest basically at like, what do I look forward to each day when you've done the same thing over and over enough? And she's like, maybe you need to consider a different career path. And I was like, no. And I talked to these other men and they all, like I've talked to so many men where they all kind of reach a point where it's like, what am I doing? They'll go do something else for a while and then they come back. Partly because with one of my friends that I was talking to, I was like, but then he went back to, he's like, yeah, I was like, because it's just a job. He's like, yeah, it's a job. I'm like, so I have to have a job. But I don't, because of what we do in the nature, like I realize if I want any sort of advancement or promotion, I have to make it happen. There is no one comes and says, good job, here's your promotion.
Wait, what?
So, I know. Sorry, Mike. Well, I do.
I'm not getting promoted anytime soon.
I have something in the works for you when we meet for our annual review in November.
Because I mean, I was promised certain things when I got into this.
That's what we should work on. Whatever promotion we're going to get when we do our annual review on the 200th episode. Or it'd be bad. It's like you're going to get less mic time.
Say, Mike, we're gonna gift
Mike,
you
we don't feel like
empty
you've really
space
contributed in a
that
meaningful
office.
way. So
You're out.
you're going to participate less.
Wouldn't it be funny? In the 200th episode, one of us gets fired.
It's going to be me.
No, I was going to say after today's episode, it'll be me because I don't even know where I'm going yet. I'm still just rambling on about this. I'm trying to think, like, we've done this before where, Matt, I don't know if you ever did it. I didn't do it, but you and I both committed, and maybe Mike didn't commit to doing it, to doing one of those. You have that like date night scratch off book thing you did. We both talked about, okay, we're going to do the sex one.
The sex book?
Yeah. The one that's like, it's a date night, but it's sex date.
We committed to that on here, huh?
Yeah, me and you together, we're going to do it together.
Oh.
I
we
mean,
did commit.
Just to clarify, not together.
Together. But neither of us did it. And I was like, that's one of the things. It's like, I think I want to hold myself accountable. I think to be a risk taker, maybe not. Maybe the being a risk taker is you shouldn't hold yourself accountable. You just got to jump off the ledge, and not think about how you're going to be accountable to it. Mike?
No, that's just bad living, I think.
Which part? Rob's living bad. Which part am I living bad?
Like not taking accountability. Like you have to be accountable for things, right?
Sure.
And to me, like looking at this thing, like with the sex book, I think, yeah, I get it. And that's great for you two to commit to it. But it is a sex book. And so each of you has someone else who has to be willing to also sign up and do the sex book. And so I think, like to me, I think
sex book.
I don't remember the name of it, but
that's what I call it too. I don't.
Yeah,
it's like the adventure couple adventure thing.
Yeah. But I think it's great, but you can't. You know what I mean? Like you were committing to something that you couldn't ultimately.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
And so there is those instances where I think that plays a part somewhere in terms of creating that desperation, because that's like when I was in college, I never wrote a paper. I wrote one paper prior to the night before it was due. Because I had a professor, and he was one of those professors that was like, if you want an A in this class, you have to do like C is average, which means that's what you should expect. If you want an A, then you better do better than everyone else in the class. Like you better, right? And so I thought, I want to get an A from this guy just once, just to show I could do it, kind of thing. Every other paper I wrote, it was the night before it was due. My senior course that I took, 2 weeks late. I turned the paper in. I finished writing it the day I had to present it to the class. That's when I finished writing it. And so I think, I thrived on that deadline. And so like, yes, to me, I think, I do good work when I have that crunch, when I feel that desperation. Right. And I did. Like my average paper grade, probably a B+. Like I never got below a B on a paper. And so I thought, like I could do this. The thing I've run into is I've realized, like, one, there's no way to duplicate desperation.
Yeah.
Like I can set a deadline, but I know full well there's no consequence behind it. I'm going to miss the deadline and it's not going to matter. Because who's going to punish me? I'm not getting a grade for this crap. And so I started to realize, like, I have to, for me, I had to shift where the motivation was coming from. I couldn't do it for motivation or for desperation.
Because I don't, that's part of my question is like, how do I actually, there's creative things I want to do, but I keep not doing them.
Well, that's why we're doing our writing retreat in parallel with
parallel play
with accountability nights.
If we got to do it. Okay, keep going.
So for me, the shift became, I started making it an issue of discipline. Right. I was contemplating things I wanted to be, and I realized that one of the traits that I wanted to describe myself was I wanted to be disciplined. Which meant if I said I was going to do something, I was going to do it. And so if I said I want to get up at a certain time of day, okay, then I'm going to get up at a certain time of day. There's no consequence if I don't. I'm trying to get up like way earlier than I have need to be up because I like to be up in the mornings. So I can't fake the desperation. I don't have a client until 9 a.m. There's nothing I can do about that. I just don't. So I know that I don't have to be out of bed. Like I know full well that for a 9 a.m. client, if I am out of bed by 7:30, I can make it to my office with a few minutes to spare and be just fine. Like we're good. And so like for me, it just, and I'm obviously like, it's still something I'm working on and struggling with, but that idea of shifting away from desperation to just, no, I'm not doing it because I feel an urgency, or I'm not doing it because I feel like there's some negative consequence coming. I'm doing it because it's the person I want to be.
But maybe discipline or desperation. Do you feel like it's like the thing needed to get you past the fear of the vulnerability of creativity?
Are you asking me that?
Yeah.
Yes. Like, and that's actually, as you're saying this too, Mike, I think that's part of my issue, I think, is I think I'm misunderstanding creativity. And I do want to at some point pivot into the idea of what does creativity look like for men. But I think I'm viewing creativity wrong. And that's why I went back to the songwriting thing, is like, I have to be willing to accept creativity as a process rather than a result. Like it's something you engage in that could be totally. I just watched a thing with Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers talking about the way they write their music. Is it's like we kind of just jam, and people try different things, and sometimes that thing does not work at all. But sometimes you did it and it doesn't work, but somebody else did something different while you were doing your different thing, and that worked. And so and it's like, which is it's always more fun, I think, to be creative with other people. And so like when I write, I love writing because when I get into a good headspace, I am so delighted by how funny I think I am. Like, now I acknowledge that sometimes the way I write, I was like, people are going to hate. Like sometimes it makes no sense. And my wife would be like, this sentence doesn't make a ton of sense. I'm like, I know, but if I change it, I lose the joke. So that's not happening. So, but what was the question? Now I just lost it.
If it's like the desperation is what you need to get past the fear of, because creativity is like a super
which actually
vulnerable thing, right? If you do it in
100%.
private, I'm writing stuff on my guitar. Like my daughters always laugh at me because I've heard this from a few different musicians, like where they rushed home back when all they had was like a little 8-track, right? And they had to like capture that. But then I listened to this episode of I can't remember the name of the podcast. It's like deconstructing the song.
Uh-huh.
So Rivers Cuomo was talking about his process and how he's like super methodical about collecting things and like collecting good chord progressions and things. So he just draws on that. So I started like, if I liked a riff or something, I'd just like shoot a little video of myself playing it, or
I do voice memos.
So they walk. I was like, "What are you doing?" Like, this is my creative space. Get out. But it is kind of like, I like this. Exposed. I feel like there's something to this, but then I have to submit it for feedback.
Yeah,
and like, I think that process sometimes is vulnerable enough that you don't even start your own like private creativity, and then I think that's what you're describing, right? It's like we just start to die. So I think in terms of masculinity or vitality, it's like it's critical, because if I'm not building or creating something or expressing myself in some way, then like, who am I and why am I here?
That's what I mean, we've talked about it before, that I think all humans are creative, in that we all need to feel like we are creating something.
Yeah.
It may be that creating might be I mean, I think for some people, an easy thing, this is like when you say, who am I? I think an easy thing is like when a dude builds like a giant man cave for himself that's got Dallas Cowboy stuff everywhere. It's like, that's who I am.
Yeah.
Because it feels like, look what I made, you know, like, and that's, I do think it is getting past, because Mike, when you getting past the vulnerability of like doing something creative, Mike, when you talked about last minute writing, every paper I wrote was last minute, with the exception of one, which sucked. I still got a good grade on it, but it was like I hated the process so much. But when I'd write last minute, it was always because last minute meant it's too late now. It doesn't matter what I think my professors will think of this.
Yeah.
I would always write with the idea of how's my professor going to respond to this. So if I waited long enough, it was like, well, I just had to shut that out.
I have to turn something in.
So it is a question of like, how do I lean into creativity when I can be totally exposed for being an idiot? Like one of the riffs I was doing, I can't remember the tune of it exactly right now, but my daughter does this. Like the last part has this, it's kind of like a resolve to it. And she does this meow, 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 meow. I was like, oh, that is what it sounds like. Dang it. She wasn't trying to be rude. She's just singing along to it. But so I feel almost this like frustrated desperation myself to like do something, dang it. Like get out of this freaking slump. Like
we're going to do it.
The problem solved.
But it has to be in September.
Yeah, I can't make August work. September will work for me.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out some dates. But no, I agree. I think it's, well, maybe more than accountability. It's like somebody's exposing themselves with me. It's a different thing. Like they're working on their thing, I'm working on mine. But like we're both going through that emotional process together. And I think, yeah, sometimes I think we value too much the like the rugged individual endeavor, right? Like when we talk about masculinity and stuff, and it's not that I guess I like to look at it like it's not like you or me or Mike couldn't do that on our own.
Sure.
But why not share that really cool experience with somebody else who's doing the exact same thing? Like then you're getting your creative outlet, you're developing whatever it is you're developing or building, and you're building a relationship, and now you have this like shared experience of, I mean, really, when you think about it, that's like we've talked about before, war and things like that, where guys get, really close to each other as we went through this really difficult thing, or we were, both building our businesses at the same time, or both, writing books at the same time, or whatever. I think hearkening back to the episode that apparently should have been called The Mandate of the Mandate.
A mandate for mandates. That's what Ryan's like, dude, you missed an opportunity. It should have been mandate for mandates. I was like, oh, dang it.
Yeah, that's another way we can like learn together and support each other. But
it's kind of funny because this upcoming episode where we're gonna roast each other. Just kidding. The reason that sounds so appealing to me is I want that kind of thing. That's like you have to go through crap with people in order to maybe open something else up. Like because maybe that's I want to remove obstacles that would be my fear. So if I have a fear of people saying you actually kind of suck at this, it's like, okay, then I got used to you saying I suck at this, so I can get better at this.
Yeah,
and that's part of being. Maybe that's my creative block is that I'm always worried it will suck. And the weird thing about that to me is some of the songs I've written in the past, it's like that people like. I'm like, yeah, it's a good song. It sounds a lot like these 3 other songs. You just don't know those songs. I do, because I hear it and I'm like, oh, I just ripped that off. Which again, you can make that argument for lots of songs.
Yeah, how many songs have the exact same chord progression?
Oh yeah, I mean, pretty much every punk song has the same chord progression. But so anyway, and maybe we pivot now because I think you're right. It is maybe I think you're right too, Mike. And I actually talked with a client about this morning. Believe it or not, about the idea of we look too much for motivation, and sometimes it just has to be discipline. And then I think the motivation will come as you get more deeply involved. Like if I committed myself to write every single day for at least 20 minutes, then over time, I think the motivation is going to shift because My writing will shift. It will become easier and smoother and faster and creative and blah, blah, blah. And then, so it is like committing, because I was sitting here thinking, if we had a week, if we do that week where we're kind of holding each other to it, it's like, well, then I got to get crap done. I will not allow myself to show up and be like, yeah, I didn't do it.
You don't want to be the guy at the end of the day with 5 QT cups around you. Sorry, guys.
What'd you get done today, Rob? Well, I met a new friend at
QT.
So, but I guess maybe just for a couple minutes, I don't know, we don't have that much longer, but I like to always say that much longer, like we got to fill time on this thing. But I do kind of wonder, like, as we were talking about this, thinking about friends I have and thinking, I don't know what their creative outlet is.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, actually.
That's where I want to go.
Well, there it is. The void.
Well, it is kind of funny because I don't, like, I know things that I think are my creative outlet. I have multiple things. But actually most men I know don't have those. Like, even if I said something like, okay, I can maybe get some variation of this, but I was going to say, like, playing guitar, writing music, which I don't do very often, or writing anything, right? Or even actually like writing the intro things on these podcasts that nobody reads. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I freaking love doing it because sometimes I'm like, ooh, I'm on a roll. This is going to be a funny one. And nobody's going to read it. And it's cool. So read the intro blurbs. But then I think, sometimes I would consider some of my creativity. I don't know if maybe this doesn't fall in the same category. I mean, we can make a justification for why it does, but like riding my bike, like getting out and pushing myself to go further or something. And maybe, but that, I don't know that I'd call it creativity. I'm building towards something, but I don't know. But for a lot of dudes, that's probably it. I play this sport.
So I think, like I was talking to a client this morning, and the homework had been, I wanted to know 3 traits about him that he really liked, and I wanted to know 3 areas where he wanted to improve. And one of his improving ones was be more creative. And I was like, okay, so like, I want to understand that more. Like, are you saying you want to like engage in more activities like art or writing or, something like that? And he goes, no. Yeah. I said, okay, well, is it like, are you saying that you just want like more hobbies? And he's like, no. And ultimately where I think he kind of settled was he wanted to do things that actually forced his brain to engage.
Okay.
And that's like one of the things, like it's why I love listening to Malcolm Gladwell and his podcast, because inevitably on my brain, and like usually I agree with his, but there's, whether I agree with him or not, it doesn't matter. At some point my brain will engage and I'll just kind of start pondering on this idea and thinking about it. It's why I have increasingly over the last couple of months, like, started reading books again more, because even the fiction stories cause my brain to engage. Uh-huh. And so it's not something my brain will just passively do. And to me, if you think about, like, you mentioned the guy from Weezer, right? Rivers Cuomo, whatever.
Gosh, he's a rock god.
Sure he is. But, and he talks about he's always working on collecting chord progressions. And I think, yeah, part of the creative process is, let me gain information. Let me gain knowledge about what's already existing, what's been done, that is a normal part of the process. And so I think, yeah, there is an aspect of creativity that can simply be, no, this is my gaining knowledge phase. I want to learn as much as I can. I want my brain to engage. And I think the more, like, I've noticed that the more time that I spend, that was a fast spider. Sorry.
That was freaking awesome.
It's like flying up my. Anyway, sorry, spaceman. No, it was like tiny and moved really fast.
It's gonna haunt you
a little bit. It's probably just gonna go live in the plant that's up there. It's cool.
I can't wait to see it dangling above your head in the screen.
No, but well, of course, I've lost my train of thought entirely now.
You said to get your brain to engage, and the spider was like, "I know what I'll do."
Yeah, the information gathering phase.
The more that I engage in like book reading or like podcast listening or things that are still not necessarily, I'm not creating anything, but the more I do it, the more I feel myself wanting to write. Because my brain is engaging and it reminds me, yeah, I have things to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I do see things differently than people around me. And I think there's benefit in the way I see them. And so I want to get those thoughts out and clarify them more and whatever, right? Whereas when I slip back into activities that don't require, movie watching, TV watching, video games, like those don't require a lot. Like, yeah, I don't really care. Like writing seems like such a chore at that point. Like, oh, I sit down and write? Oh, fine. And so I think there's something to be said for that creative, or as part of the creative process of simply engaging the brain. Yeah.
It reminds me of when I used to skate. We would have to get ourselves hyped up. We'd turn on some sort of skateboarding video. We'd also make fun of each other. It's like, you get hyped up watching Curb Dogs, dude. It's all just dudes awing onto curbs and like truck grinds. And do we still call it? They're just called grinds now, huh? Not truck grinds. I started in the 80s. Get off my back. But I think that's interesting to think about the phase, the buildup of I'm gaining knowledge. Or it's kind of funny because I think if I think of the hype thing, I do have to expose myself more to more humor, because that's where my brain will always turn on into more creative spaces when humor is involved, because it feels like, well, this answer might be good or it might be funny, so I'll take either one. Yeah. And then it's like, then you can come up with really good ones when you're willing to laugh at stuff. That's just the way my brain works. But I still don't know, like, I guess I'm just kind of wondering, for anybody out there who feels like they're not creative, I'm like, well, in what way are they?
So,
sure. Go
ahead. Go ahead, Matt. I feel like I've been talking a lot.
Go ahead, Matt. I need to deal with this phobia.
I think that we probably, as much as society peaked in the 90s, I think one thing that probably infected all of us, and especially because maybe the music scene we were into, is like the idea of being somebody who like ripped something off was so like punishable by you were just like shamed if, and everybody had like a super high level of detection for that kind of stuff, and constantly like, so to your idea of taking in information, right, instead of looking at our creative process, like I go off and to my silo and I come out with something that no one's ever heard before and isn't related to anything that anybody's ever done before. It's more like how are you taking what exists to the next step for like, some specific thing that's just related to you, right? Like, where are you in that creation process? I think there's like a book series by Clayton Christensen about the innovator. That's like the innovator's dilemma and something. But he talks about that, how like when you look at great innovators, they oftentimes take like two great ideas or products and create a third that synthesizes. And I feel like that has been a struggle for me in different things, because I'm constantly like, well, that sounds like this. And it's like, well, of course it does, but it's different because it's you saying it, and it's your personality and it's your take on it. And but yeah, I think for creative outlets, I remember when I first started college, I was majoring in art, and I loved drawing and sculpting and all sorts of stuff. And then as soon as someone was like, you need to do that every day. You got to do, they were like perspective drawings. We had to like find some item in the house and draw like a 3D model of it on a huge tablet. And I was like, I hate this. I don't want to draw anymore. And so I learned that some of my creative outlets have to just be for the purpose of unwinding.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, I've thought about like, it's funny how your mind just goes to these like super unrealistic places. Like I'm sitting there writing this riff, and then all of a sudden I'm imagining myself in like some stadium. Like, dude, people are gonna love this song.
I know.
I'm like, that's never gonna happen. But it was fun to just kind of like go there and capture it in some way. Maybe, like you're saying, maybe it'll turn into something for me, or maybe I'll put it on Spotify or something, right? Like, but yeah, same thing for like cooking when it's something that I enjoy creating. If I were doing it like, you know, feeding people like 3 meals a day, I'd be like, I hate this. So some things I think are just in the realm of creative expression. And I think, like you're saying, Mike, taking in information, getting into that like generative space in your mind where you're bouncing off of things and you're starting to kind of have opinions and views. And then you set out kind of a methodical path to create something that like leaves a mark, right? Or like serves some purpose. I think that's where like habits, discipline, it's like I have to have so many swings at this to generate something successful, right? And that space, I think, like we're saying, we're all actually creating like every hour of every day, sitting here with clients and thinking through, and like we're not just regurgitating, you know, the same questions and conversations and types of things for our clients. We're integrating all of that and thinking. So it might feel like something on top of that, like writing, or it's like maybe the problem is that we're just running out of, like, our tank is empty by the time we get to that, versus like take a week off and just dive into that type of creation that really is, you know, surrounding the same need and same topics, really. But I don't know if you've felt this way before. It's like when you have a moment to write or read or something like that, and then you come back and you're like, feel way more effective as a therapist.
Oh, 100%.
I remember when I was teaching.
Confidence goes up.
Yeah. When I was teaching, it drove me nuts, but it was kind of exciting in its own way. Like when you're teaching a class on all the different approaches to therapy, and then it's just every week you're like, this is it. And you're using like a different approach with your clients. And I don't know if they noticed or if they're kind of like, well, you just seem like you're excited. In our minds, it's all these distinctly different things. They're probably like, yeah, it sounds the same to me. But yeah, just thinking of things in a different way and turning it over and examining it in different ways. Maybe more like curiosity and creativity going hand in hand.
Well, and I like you've kind of wandered into something that feels, at least to me, important, Matt, which is the idea of expanding the definition of what creativity is. Like, I think by default, we tend to think music, art, right? Like writing of some kind. But I think, no, I've met some really creative problem solvers.
Yeah.
Where they will see ways to solve something that just, it's not the thing the average person is going to see. Whatever. Was it from the book we just read? Where they talk about like so many people when they think of like, hey, here's this problem to fix. And so they think about adding more to it. Mm-hmm. And he goes, we never think about taking things away.
Yeah.
And I think, right, like someone who sees that, like that's a creative problem solution, right? Like you solved in a creative way. And so I do think there's something to be said for expanding our definition of what creative is. Like I never felt like I am not artistically inclined.
I'll say.
Thanks. I really needed that boost
Kevin's gonna
today.
get mad at me for that later.
Sometime next week I'll get a text.
Guess you won't be getting a soda delivery.
No, but I realized I will create things. It's really dumb, and it really just helps relax my brain. But I will sit and do stuff like this.
Nice.
It like I said,
90s shirt,
right?
Yeah.
Where it's one of those where to me that's not artistic, right?
Why
because
not?
Because I'm literally just like dragging my pen, and then when it connects to the other line, I'm like, okay, I'm done, and then I'm coloring it in, and I set rules for how I color, right? Like, whereas I watch my wife do stuff, and I'm like, well, that's creative right there. Look at that, like, oh my gosh, so artistic. But that's because I'm falling into that traditional idea,
like definition of it.
Yeah, like I'm not allowing for the creative to be something else. And so I think there's a lot to be said for broadening that definition of creative. I also think there's a lot to be said for creating just for the sake of creation.
Agreed.
To do it not because it leads anywhere. Maybe no one will ever see it. Maybe no one's ever going to hear the world's greatest guitar riff that one of you two creates because you created it and then didn't do anything with it. What did you say, Matt?
I said it's on Rob's phone.
It goes like this. Meow, 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 meow.
I mean, it's not as good as your By Menon, but
I think it's I do think it's interesting. You know, that's I just think really when we talk about creativity, it does mean like, are you sometimes just putting something different into the world, like, or creating something? I don't think it has to be like what you're saying, Mike. Creativity means the arts. I guess I just like this has been helpful to me today to think through like, oh, okay, there is a part of quieting the critics in my head to say, well, look, like, I don't know, I might suck at this, but I enjoy doing it. Like, I do it because it's enjoyable. And what was I just listening to or reading that talks about the same idea? It's like, I sucked for a long time, and I just sucked at it. It was fine, and then I got better and better and better because I just kept doing it over and over and over again. And that discipline part that you talk about, Mike, Brandon Sanderson has said, no, this is my job. Like, I write, so that's what I do every day. I don't wait for creative moment. I go sit down and write because it is my job.
Yeah, Stephen King talks about a similar approach.
And it's like, well, you have to. This is what you do. So, and some of it's fascinating to think that how much stuff is like total crap. Like when you listen to bands, when they like put out their demo albums, it's like, well, I can see why that one didn't make the cut. You know.
Or when you hear just the beginnings of some song you really like, man, you got there from that.
That's it. Like I was thinking about this today yesterday when I was playing something on guitar and thinking, oh, that would be cool down the road to layer something on top of this. It's just a little simple thing that would add depth in a recording.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't hear it here. But anyway, I don't know. We have the reason I say it's been helpful to me is because it does make me feel like I have to have these periodic, like, in my own brain, recommitting to, like, for me, it's always helpful to think, what do I want my life to be when I'm done? Like, do I want to look back and think, I kind of freaked out and just kind of kept doing the same thing because it was easy? Or did I like push myself? Did I carpe the diem? Carpe the diem. I don't know if you guys have any other final thoughts on this, but I've got a few. No
way.
I just really want to emphasize that redefine how you look at creativity. Like, what is it that you feel like, I like doing this? It feels like it pulls part of me out that doesn't usually get to come out. That's probably your creativity in some ways. For some people, it could be basketball or something. I also think the discipline of it, it's like, if you really, not necessarily that you want to make it your life, but like there is a discipline to saying, if I want to feel improvement and continued creativity, I have to turn this on more often. You can't just hope that your creativity will show up. It won't unless you've made that such a strong muscle that it just knows how to show up. Now, I will say this: my little sign off today is going to come from my friend Ryan Lewis, because it was so awesome when he said it. He was talking about listening to the episode about mandates. You'll hear it in a second. I'm going to make sure I get it right. But either way, by the way, one last thing too. I will, on this episode, if you're listening, there should be a link in the show notes to a feedback form for you guys to give us feedback. Somebody actually texted me in the middle of this episode and said, "Where's the feedback form, or should I just freehand this?" I'm like, "Oh, you got it locked and loaded?"
Curious, can they respond that way? Is it anonymous?
When I've done it before, like just doing like a Google Sheets thing, it's been anonymous, I believe.
I say you can choose to make it anonymous.
In the show notes, not they're not texting.
No. I'll put a link in the show notes. Yeah, I don't want to know who this is, because if you're going to get harsh, then I mean, don't get mean for the sake of just being mean. Hopefully, it's helpful. So fill it out, and then come back next time and catch us on the Manspace. 2 dude nights a week in this economy?